Testing 1, 2, 3. Here's my mic. Hey, okay. There we go. I don't know why you have to be difficult like this, microphone. You and I have worked together for many years. Let's continue to have a good working relationship. Oh god, this is recording. Hey folks, welcome back to another episode of the Choecast. I am your English teacher. Am I beloved? I don't know. I'm gonna say that I am. This is my third video of the day that I'm recording because I'm trying to do things in advance. So if I look more unhinged than usual, I'm not sorry. This is just who I am now. So when I am posting this, it should be on May 22nd, which I have scheduled to be as Music Monday. Throughout the school year, a question that I hear a lot and often ignore because we're trying to do other stuff is, Miss, what kind of music do you listen to? I think that when my students learn in September that my family's from Korea, first question is, do you like K-pop? Do you listen to that K-pop? Do you like that BTS? Listen, first of all, whether or not I listen to K-pop, why are you getting salty over it? That's literally where my family's from. And second of all, if I didn't like it, that's also not an issue. That's like if I ask you, oh, your family's from Mexico? How come you don't like Mexican music? Just do or I don't. It's it's just really personal preference and personal taste. So yeah, I do listen to some K-pop. No, I don't listen to BTS. It's just personal preference. I'm not a fan. What's really interesting is that when I was in high school, I didn't think that my teachers listened to music. I just thought that they kind of popped out of the ground. They did their work, they graded, and then they went home and they sat in the dark for 12 hours until it was time to come back to work, I guess. I really don't know. But anyway, your teachers are people, and we do listen to music, a lot of us. I happen to think that I have good taste in music. Everyone thinks they have good taste in music, though, so that's sort of not a thing to contest. But yeah, I thought it'd be fun if I shared an album I've been listening to lately. I cannot play the whole diddly darn album on this podcast because I think I might get a copyright strike, but also I don't really want to do that. My attention span lately is not good enough for me to pull off sitting and listening to, hold on, to an album for 33 minutes straight on camera. I cannot do that. I will not do that to myself. Sorry, self-preservation. What I'll do is that I will link the album on Google Classroom, or if you're watching this through my site, I'll link it on my site or in the description in YouTube, whatever it is. I don't know. And if you're interested in this after I'm done talking, I feel like you should give it a listen. So first and foremost, like I said, yeah, I do listen to Korean music. When I was in elementary, kind of the end of elementary school, the beginning of middle school. Up until then, I wasn't really that into Korean stuff. I didn't really try to speak Korean either because I wanted to fit in with the kids at school, and the kids at school were listening to Britney Spears, NSYNC, Backstreet Boys, that kind of stuff was cool. And so I wanted to fit in because I've told you guys this before, right? I grew up in a predominantly white community and that's what people listen to. I wanted to fit in because already like the color of my skin and my eyes, my hair, I look different. So I didn't want to make myself more different. But as I got older, I started to realize, hey, this part of my family's culture is really cool. And I discovered that, wow, Korean music's really, it's lit. It really is. Even the stuff that was bad is like, all right, I'll give it a try. So of course I started off where everyone starts off. You start off listening to the pop music, you start doing like the greatest hits, and then as you figure out what you like, you start to get more and more into certain genres. So of course I started with the big K-pop bands, the stars, and I still do listen to a lot of that stuff, but I found that for me my tastes are kind of, it really depends on the day. So I do like some indie stuff. I've been more into less mainstream hip hop artists, I guess. What I realized was that there's this big thing in Korea where speaking English is cool. American stuff is cool, apparently. So every rapper, every singer tries to speak English in their songs, and it inevitably sounds like dookie because they don't pronounce things right, which is a given because it's not their first language, but also their lyrics don't really make sense because they don't have a native speaker look through it first to say, like, that doesn't make any sense. And I guess if I was living in Korea, that kind of stuff wouldn't bother me because I wouldn't know any better. But because I speak English really well, it really bugs me. So one thing that I've noticed in kind of trends in Korean music lately is that it's become more and more popular to bring in Korean American artists to do music in Korea. You know, sometimes you'll get the big K-pop groups, they'll have the American members. There are artists like, I think I'll put pictures up, but there's a girl from New Jersey. Her name is Ailey. She's doing pretty well in Korea. Puniel from B2B, he's also like a second gen kid. So these are kids whose parents were from Korea. They immigrated to America. And these kids are like me. They grew up speaking English and Korean. Probably more English, honestly. So when they speak and sing and rap in Korean, it sounds good because they spoke it at home, but it's also their English is really good. So I guess it's kind of weird. A lot of the stuff on my playlist is I have a lot of American raised, like Korean American artists on my playlist lately because their rap just sounds so much better and their songs, just the lyrics sound amazing. Oh my God, I feel like this is becoming one of those YouTube channels where people are like, my reaction to so and so's music video. This is a really long way for me to say that this is how I discovered this guy whose name is DPR Live. DPR is it stands for Dream Perfect Regime. Fancy, I know. Anyway, so DPR Live is the performer. Oh my God, I'm fangirling super hard, but you know what? I'm talking about the things that I like, and if you don't like it, too bad. Just get your own podcast. But so DPR Live, he is actually not from America. He actually grew up in Guam, which I know a lot of you are going to be like, what the hell is like Guam? Guam is an American territory. So it is not attached to the United States, but they speak English there. And technically, they're sort of under American rule. We have colonies, you know that, right? Like Guam is technically an American colony. We say it's not a colony, a territory. It's a colony. Puerto Rico is technically a colony too. It's this whole weird thing. Ask your history teacher. But so he grew up in Guam, so he speaks English very well, obviously. And then he moved to Korea to be a rapper. And man, I don't believe in love at first sight in relationships, but love at first sight with music, hell yeah. Obviously, English is there, lyricism is there, it's beautiful. But he came out with a new album recently, and man, I have not loved an album this much in a really long time. I wonder if I can play you a little clip without getting like copyright flagged. I know the one on Google Classroom should be okay because it's on Google Classroom. Who's gonna copyright? Is big bad media company gonna come for me for my post on Google Classroom? I'm worried about the YouTube version, but honestly, it's fine. We'll live. This album that I am in love with right now is called "Is Anybody Out There?" It's really short as far as albums go. It's only half an hour. I am just in love with the whole space aesthetic. I love the sound of it. It's just such a great album. I'm just so happy that it exists in the world. I think I'm gonna give you a little sample of this. Here's the kind of, if you're like, what kind of music is Miss Choi into? This is exactly what I like. Lately I've been feeling out of control. Lately I've been feeling out of control. Lately I've been feeling so. Lately I've been feeling so. Lately I've been feeling out of control. Lately I've been feeling. You'll hear that? How beautiful it sounds. Obviously, the music is great. Out of Control is one of my favorite tracks, but then there's also Oh girl, won't you say some right now? Oh girl, oh girl, oh girl, you made me feel strange in so many type of ways. Oh girl, won't you say some right now? Come on, that bass. And then I think one of the tracks that I didn't think that I'd like that I really ended up loving is the second track, which is kind of like the first real official track. Okay, no more. I'm not getting a copyright strike. Give it a listen. If you listen to the little snippets and you're like, oh, this is kind of my cup of tea, I kind of listen to it. My God, it's so good. One big thing for me about music is that the sound has to be good, but I also really care about the lyrics. I think nowadays what's really trendy is for artists to have some kind of theme or story in an album, which is man, I'm an English teacher. Why would I not like a good story? So the story of this whole album is that Live, who is the rapper, going through like a deep depression and trying to and finding his way out of it. And automatically when I hear something like that, I'm in love because I know what it's like to struggle with depression. I'm noticing a pattern here because one of my other favorite rappers, he's a guy named Tableau. Maybe I'll do another one on him another day. He has struggled with depression for a long time, and his first and only real solo album, a lot of the songs have to do with him feeling really down and feeling like there's nowhere to go, and then it's sort of a journey of him finding his way back to the surface. And his book that I also love is about that too. So I feel like this is just a topic that really resonates with me because I can relate. When you guys like songs, you're like, oh, I really like it. I go, why do you like it? You go, well, I can relate. This is me. This is me relating. Anyway, the song Geronimo. Geronimo is what people yell when they jump out of a plane or something like that. The Geronimo song is about kind of feeling like he's at the top and then a free fall, just like a plummet down into depression. And he keeps saying there's nowhere to run. He says that he loves the lows because without them there are no highs. Man, it's just such a good song. It's such a good concept. And then these songs, they kind of walk you through what it was like for him because he talks about his real life. He doesn't make up his stories. Kind of the main narrative of the album is that so DPR has always been great, but obviously they started off small without that much recognition. And recently in the last couple of years, they started to gain more fans and more traction. He did a world tour that sold out. So that's a huge accomplishment and he should have been happy, but he wasn't. Like he started to feel like he was falling. And so the songs of the album walks you through what it felt like, how he was trying to act like things were okay, but they weren't. There are a couple love songs in there which are beautiful by any standards. He does curse a little bit, but who doesn't curse, right? And the cool thing about him is that because he speaks English so well, his lyrics make so much sense. I would say that in recent years, his songs have relied more on English. I think when he first started, because he was working in a Korean market, he wanted to appeal more. So I think there was more Korean. Nowadays, I see a lot more English in his lyrics. So even if like you guys are like, Miss, my family's not from Korea. You could probably understand 90% of the songs just because there's so much English in there. Hey, like I grew up listening to all different kinds of music. Just because you don't get the lyrics doesn't mean you can't like the song. I have friends that love to sing K-pop. They don't understand a single word of it, and they're just up there going, but they like the music. I don't know, you guys. I just really like this album. If you have nothing to do and you're like, I'm sick of listening to my own music, why not give this a try? It's solid. I don't think there are any tracks on the album where I was like, oh, this is trash. But if you don't like it, don't listen to it. I'm just giving a suggestion because you keep saying, I'm bored, miss. Well, here's something you can be doing. Maybe listen to this album. I planned to do this for a while, but then while I was planning to do this, one of my other favorite musicians, they released an album too. So now I'm sort of sitting here like, maybe I should turn off the camera and go do that one instead. No, I'm going to be loyal, stick with the plan. I never thought that I'd like hip hop and rap. I always thought, oh, I like what I like. I'm indie. I like all this. And now I'm like, this good rap will change and your taste change. Anyway, this is it. There's no life lessons today. Nothing fancy to say. I just really like this album. Maybe you should try listening. I'm not your mom. I can't force you to do anything. The next time I'm going to be posting, it is going to be the last episode of May because it's going to be June soon, which is very scary to me. I don't know how time is going by so quickly and slowly at the same time. I feel like I'm in a fever dream, honestly. I'm sure a lot of you feel that way too. So know that you are going crazy, but I am going crazy too. So we are in this together. Yeah, that's it for me. I need to go drink some coffee because I am really losing it. So bye, guys. I will talk to you next time.